What up? Let's get down to business. Angel Garcia, Angel Garcia, says he sees something. Says he sees Errol Spence is not 100%. And when he was asked what made him see that, he looks into people's soul and he can read into people, their body language. Errol Spence, according to Angel Garcia, is not 100%, and he's being forced into this fight. Listening to people who don't have his best interest at heart. What I saw, what I heard from Angel Garcia was an old fool trying to sound philosophical. On one hand, in one breath you say something, and in the same breath, the next breath, you had to contradict yourself. People forcing him to believe in himself. Don't get me wrong, you should believe in yourself. Oh, he's a great champion, no disrespect, but he's not ready. You know, Angel Garcia is standing on his 7th-round knockout prediction against Errol Spence. That's a lot of pressure that you putting on old Danny boy. What's Danny gonna do once he gets to round 7 and realizes that he's nowhere close to knocking Errol Spence out? Because from the way I see it, by round 5, Danny Garcia is going to see and feel his will being broken. You know, not like just this devastational 5th round. You know, all of a sudden Danny Garcia is completely out of the fight. Danny Garcia, you know, he's always in the fight. But what I see is Danny Garcia, by round 5, the tide is going to start to turn to where he's going to be getting dominated slowly but surely by Errol Spence. By round 5, his heart and his will is going to be starting to get broken down. By round 5, you're going to see Errol Spence officially starting to take over and dominate the fight. By round 7, if Danny Garcia hasn't lived up to his father's prediction, even though it's probably, you know, it's just a promotion and it's bluster and all that. But even by round 7, you done put that in Danny Garcia's head, and you don't get that knockout, you're not even close. Matter of fact, you're starting to feel the fight pull away from you. I wouldn't be surprised by round 9, you see Danny Garcia getting knocked out. You know, Angel Garcia says that Errol Spence is not 100%. Be honest with you, I don't even think that Errol Spence necessarily has to be 100% to topple Danny Garcia. I think that Errol Spence has to be 100% to make the statement that he's trying to make and dominate the way he's trying to dominate. And like you said, I'm trying to beat Danny Garcia up and punish him like nobody else has done it. I think that's going to take a 100% Errol Spence. And based off from what I see, Errol Spence looks to be more than what he was when he fought Mikey Garcia, when he fought Sean Porter. He looks to be more than what he was before he had his accident. He looks like he's going to be firing on all cylinders. It may take a couple of rounds to get the rust kind of knocked off, and that's going to be for both fighters. Because Danny Garcia, coming off that performance against Ivan Redcash, that's going to aid him. Ivan Redcash was a southpaw, but Ivan Redcash is also, you know, at the same time, as good as it helps Danny Garcia, it's going to do just as much hurt for Danny Garcia, because if you walking into that ring thinking that Ivan Redcatch is anything close to Errol Spence, and especially a 100% Errol Spence, you sadly mistaken. Not to mention, you really never had Ivan Redcatch, down, hurt. I want to touch on this because people kind of gloss over this whole accident thing. They talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. They ask the same questions over and over and over and over. But I remember when the accident happened, and there was a time when we were getting back false information, or just information was coming so quick you didn't know entirely what to believe. But it almost was on that that frequency of Errol Spence not even surviving, period, point blank. Like critical condition, Then it went from him not surviving to him having a fatal accident to him being, permanently damaged. From him being, critical condition, possibly to him not being in critical condition, but, possibly, permanent damage, never walk again, never be the same. It went from that to, just he had some damage to his teeth and some, he had some scars and he's banged up from head to toe, but nothing's broken. Then it went from he's starting to recover. He's starting to train. Then it went from we're not seeing him at all. And all of a sudden he comes out and does an interview and it's, but he looks like this and he looks like that. But he says he's going to fight. And not only that, he says he's going to fight Danny Garcia. He's going to go right back on his warpath. And it went from that. It went all the way from this man possibly not surviving, not living, to this man is stepping in the ring, looking like he's in complete beast mode. He looks focused. He looks to me mentally, physically, and spiritually to be just as focused and dialed in as he was for the Kell Brook fight, if not even more focused, in my opinion. Physically, he definitely looks ready. Mentally, he looks ready. Listening to his interviews, his energy levels, his frequency, everything about him is showing me the same stoic, nonchalant, focused, straightforward, straight to the point type of guy that's just about handling his business and being honest and being real and being the truth. So I expect to see Errol Spence go through whatever he has to go through to win this fight. Period, point blank. And I feel like Angel or Angel Garcia, I think he's a good dad. But who raise your hand if you ever seen The Wire and you watched all the seasons of The Wire. The Wire. Baltimore story. Remember Weebay's son, the dude with the big puffy curly head, ponytail with the big ponytail? And remember how his mom kept trying to force him to be something that he just wasn't? He wasn't a dope boy. He wasn't a corner boy. But his mom was forcing him to try to live in his father's footsteps and be something that he wasn't. Remember the scene in the episode where his mom had him in the passenger seat and he pulled up next to the one light-skinned kid that used to trap in the back in the old apartments. And she was like, "You gonna give my son a full package, or Weebay's gonna hear about this. You want me to give you his number? You want him to call you real quick?" And she chewed out the kid, then she chewed out the son and was like, "Go make me proud." And he's like, all right, Mom. But he had that look on his face like, you put me in a position where you try to make me this big and make me this, and I'm not that. And he gets out the car and he goes stand next to the light-skinned kid that always had the do-rag on, and dude was like, man, your mama, she's a dragon lady. But that explains why you are what you are. Listening to Angel Garcia or Angel Garcia, now I see why Danny Garcia is what he is. No disrespect to him, because I think he's a great fighter. But I feel like I see for myself. It ain't even a feeling. I see he has come up short in the biggest fights for a reason. Some people felt like he got outboxed by Lamont Peterson. I think Lamont Peterson could have. I think that decision could have went to Lamont Peterson. Mauricio Herrera, I think that fight could have went his way. Sean Porter outworked him, and Keith Thurman outworked him. And I want to say this one last thing before I get out the way to my mans out there, Spill Dog. Don't get it twisted when I say Sean Porter is the only top welterweight that Errol Spence has faced and defeated. Because I give Errol Spence full credit for beating Lamont Peterson, for beating Chris Algieri, for beating Chris Van Hildering, however you say his name. You know what I'm saying? For beating Kell Brook, for beating Mikey Garcia, and for beating Sean Porter. But this fight coming up, like Errol Spence said, this is his second biggest fight. And now we don't have to say, you can't say anything like Danny Garcia's damaged goods. It's amazing how you can go into an accident and come back and still not be the underdog. You know what I mean? That's amazing to me. But Errol Spence has always definitely got full credit from this channel for his accomplishments. I just say Sean Porter was another pinnacle reached. And you notice right after he peaked with Sean Porter, he took a tremendous load. Had to go deep into the deep, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death type deep. And he had to go down to that place outside of the ring. He took an L. And it taught him a lot in life. And you can see it change the trajectory of his whole mentality. So going into this fight, I think you're going to see a new high-level peak from Errol Spence. There's one more thing that I want to touch on. But I guess that's going to be another day, another video for another day. It's Nocturnal Thoughts. Salute. I'm out. Peace.